Hello and welcome to Jo-ttack on Titan. I'm Jim.
I'm Sam. Here we are. Final season, part 1.
Final season, part 1. I think we actually got a comment kind of recently that explained that, at least in English, the naming is weird. In Japanese, they're just calling all of it final season, but whatever.
It's just easier, I guess, to label it.
I think, especially for release, they probably need to do something different. Here we are, Attack on Titan podcast. I've seen it, Sam hasn't. We've finally made it to season 4.
Yes, we're on doing episodes 1 to 4 of this final season, part 1.
So 1 to 4, those are episodes 60 through 63.
Yes.
A bit of a departure from what we saw last time.
I say so. I figured there was a time skip because I seen pictures of the bearded Eren with long hair, and I figured, okay, how else do you symbolize a time skip? You give him facial hair.
It's true, and
which, as we see, that is very true.
Basically, all of the characters
that we've seen.
Zeke already did have facial hair, but Reiner has now grown.
Reiner has facial hair. Well, I assume Jean had facial hair, and Eren has facial hair and
I think we did see Jean with a little bit of facial hair, actually.
Yes, he did see a little bit of scruff.
So this is often referred to as the Marley arc. Because we are with a whole new cast of characters. It's really funny because I was totally taken aback by this when I originally watched the series, which I guess was earlier this year, technically.
Yeah.
Because I ended up catching up when this arc had basically ended. I think there was one episode more that I caught up to. Then I had to watch it weekly and suffer like a pleb who watches things weekly. But yeah, so we have a whole new cast of characters. We have
where only 2 are important, really.
Kind of.
the new child character. I get really nervous when they introduce a group of child characters because as I've learned from watching Log Horizon forever ago, bringing in a group of children characters to be the main characters for an arc can lead to not great stuff.
And there's a lot that's kind of bubbling up under the surface that we'll get to. But so ultimately, 4 years have passed since at least the events of season 3.
Yes, and I think we did you did the math for me, but Eren basically a lot of people only have 1 year left.
So I think Zeke for sure only has 1 year left.
Reiner.
So with the Curse of the Titan, you have 13 years once you get it, because that's allegedly how long Ymir herself had the power of the Titans when she was granted it.
Yeah.
In legend, according to legend. So Eren basically has about a year, I think.
Yeah.
Reiner for sure. No, Zeke for sure has a year. Reiner's getting close to. Everyone is kind of right at their end of their term.
They're basically, they already had. Zeke is closer because he has his replacement picked out already, and they're in the process of picking the Armor Titans one, so he's closest. He's getting there, but not as close.
Yeah.
So, and as we. And we don't know because, what's her name? Annie is we in the crystal, so we don't know
we haven't seen her.
We don't know if time slows down when she's stasis.
It would be perfect if she's still. I mean, I guess she would still look like her age, right? If she's not aging, we don't know. We really don't know what's happening. We
literally have not seen her since she got literally tucked away.
Hopefully, we will see Annie. We actually get a lot of Annie in these episodes, which I forgot about, honestly.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about the first episode.
I think let's talk about the characters first, since we have a lot of new ones. So, let's just start. So we have our returning Zeke and Reiner, who are now freaking damaged old people. Except Zeke is
exactly how he was.
Yeah.
Except I made a joke before, he's gonna be butthurt about losing and wants to go back, and I was 100% right.
Yeah.
And then Reiner still has PTSD. Reiner's still got a job, and he still does job.
He still does job, and he's also a jobber. Reiner is probably at the lowest point he's ever been.
He's suicidal.
He's literally tries to commit suicide, which is fucking crazy. That scene is
a lot of suicide in this season.
We get
there's GABI.
So we have our warrior candidates. So we've got 5 of them,
but only 2 are important.
Yeah. So we've got GABI, best girl, my favorite character.
Okay.
She's a bitch. But she's great. She's the best ever. She's for sure foregone conclusion going to become the new Armor Titan.
She's also the cousin of Reiner.
Cousin of Reiner, yeah. So her name is GABI Braun. Then we have Falco, who's kind of the main character.
Yes, he definitely, because he's the only character you see in the ED, pretty much.
Yeah, he gets the most focus in the first episode as kind of the POV character. They also do the thing where he conveniently lost his memory, so all the characters catch him up too.
Yeah, he was caught in the middle of no man's land, hitting the head.
And he has. Okay, I do want to talk about the line. He's like, I felt like I was flying around with a sword attacking Titans. I don't know if that's like a joke. Like, I don't know if they're really like what they're trying to like make here.
Yeah, not like he ate like a Titan that was trained to do because he's still like training. So I don't.
He would
understand.
never have seen.
Yeah,
he would never have seen a person like
they don't
one
know
of the
what's
Paradise Island.
They don't
people.
know anything about Paradise Island other than just there's bad people there. Essentially.
Yeah. So okay, whatever. But then we have
his brother Colt, who's the replacement for Beast. For Zeke.
Which is interesting because we see Zeke is older than the Sus Squad people, and then
Yeah.
also Colt is older. So I wonder if Beast is one where they want the user to be older, because like they just have no problem handing this Titan power out to kids,
Unless they like think about like, oh, maybe because he was slightly older when he got Beast Titan, maybe that special blood or that special ability will kick in.
Maybe there's a lot of that I want to talk about with Zeke and Colt in particular, but the one thing is like Zeke is a concern that there's a power that he won't be able to pass to Colt. Like he makes a line, he's like not ready yet.
They're like, why is your blood so special? He's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like
wink,
lying
wink. You'll
through his
find
teeth.
out when you eat me.
Basically, it literally says that. Then we have Udo,
Not
who is
important. He's a translator. Not important.
and then Sophia,
who is looks like this guy from Cyborg 009 with the gun hand, but she's not important. She's there to be an Annie 2.0.
Kinda, yeah. She kind of fills the Annie role. Whereas, like, what do you like? Do you connect any of the other characters to any other ones? Like, I think there's some obvious ones.
I thought, look wise,
or I would say look, or even just personality wise.
Because like Gabi looks like a Tanner Hanji.
That's funny
to me, and like, and I just think Uto's kind of like just the smart guy like of the group.
Yeah.
Like,
well, one thing we learned about Udo is he actually was from abroad, so he's not like.
Yes.
I think the three other kids are from Liberio. That's like where Grisha grew up. They are actually from there, but he mentions like that he was from abroad, and he also knows the language. He knows like whatever like
the Middle East
Mid-East languages. Yeah.
Yeah. Middle East. What's it called?
They call it the Mid-East. I think.
Yeah. So in what's it called? Falco seems to be like that guy caught in with either the Reiner side, and then as we know was Eren as well, of just like who's going to groom this child to whose side, essentially.
Yeah, which we do see a mysterious man named Kruger also, who is funny because it took me a minute when I first watched this. I didn't piece it together that it was Eren until like the scene with Grisha's dad.
Oh, really?
I think it took me until then.
I seen an image of the Eren with like the long hair and the beard,
Yeah.
but like especially once I saw the eye and like the voice actor, I turned my head and not looked at it, like, oh, that's Eren's voice actor.
And then there's a few other like incidental characters. I want to say Commander Margrath he's like not an Eldian.
No,
he's a Marleyan, but he controls like the squad.
Yeah, he's just like angry military man that kind of racist towards him, but actually will listen to like he'll listen to like these cults a little bit because cult like seems to have like some military.
Yeah, he's definitely like. It's one of those things where he's an asshole and he's a racist, horrible person, but he kind of has like a soft spot for these kids.
Yeah,
like, he kind of cares about them.
He actually will listen to Colt. Like,
yeah.
Like, because even though he listens to GABI when wants to do her plan of throwing all the potato mashers at the train.
Okay, I think that's... Oh, wait. Peak. And Porco. Oh. See, there's so many new characters. Okay. So, we have new Titan... Well, technically, Peak has been the cart user.
I was like, it looks like we actually do need a design because somehow Ymir didn't get the gimmick of having like the bone face, the actual jaw, like as being the gimmick.
Yeah, we also see what's his name? I keep messing it up. Marcel. So we actually see the Marcel jaw titan, and it looks almost identical to Galliard, to Porco's version. Which I guess you could probably say like, oh well, they're in the same family, they're brothers, so whatever. But
still, yeah. We said Ymir didn't look like she had like it was just her titan.
The only thing that's similar is like the body type of like being a scrawny little.
But that's what Ymir looked like. So
yeah, that was just how her Titan.
And I was kind of because we learned that the Marcel's brother got the power from Ymir, which I was like one thing I was worried about. I think the last episode of season 3 was just like the way it could end is not getting satisfying conclusions to the characters. And like it's not like they took like the letter reading and just had it synced up to like her being eaten at the same time.
Yeah.
Which would have been like, heartbreaking, but it would have been satisfying. But this was just like, oh yeah, then she got eaten. There was no rescue mission to go get her in time, or like
it actually is very sad, and like I was like a little bummed out watching the scene again.
I wanted like if either have it synced up to her reading the letter or have a reunion that like would have been like super satisfying.
Because like ultimately, and you brought this up when we were watching it, like you want to blame Reiner. You want to like the blame falls with Reiner for why Ymir is dead.
Yes.
Like even though Ymir did go willingly, like she regretted it when she wrote the letter. You could tell that she like she kind of had gone back on it, but she couldn't do anything.
She's very stupid. She said fuck those two, man.
Yeah, it's really upsetting that Ymir just kind of dies. It's very sad to me.
That was one of my things that I would have been upset at, is not satisfying ends to characters.
I remember you saying that, and I was like, oh, unfortunately.
And I like Ymir a lot, so
I know it's unfortunate, but yeah, if Ymir's dead, she's eaten by Porco.
Because there goes our running gag of watching it, where Jim's like, "Hey, look, it's Krista." Like, hey, look, look, it's Ymir.
She's gone.
She's gone.
We only have Krista now, but now she's not Krista anymore. She's Historia.
Christoria.
And then we have, I think so, Porco. So Porco is with, as we said, Marcel's brother, who in flashbacks we learned was supposed to be the Armored Titan.
Yes.
Which we can talk about that a little later when we do like the quick synopsis. But yeah, that's crazy. So he has a whole thing, a grudge against Reiner, because he basically, there's a scene where he like wakes up Reiner after the battle, and he's like, if I was fucking armor, none of this would have happened.
Shut up,
like,
Jaw Titan.
Basically, yeah.
And then, we get the most important Titan, the best girl, has finally arrived.
Took all the fucking 4 seasons for Peak to show up. I knew you were gonna like Peak. I knew she was like your character, the type of character you'd like.
I like that tired look.
Yeah. I also really like Peak. Peak and Gabi are like my 2 favorites. I would say Peak is the best girl.
She is.
But Gabi is like my favorite character.
That Peak sleep.
Yeah, just let her sleep. I love that she's like, so the whole thing with her is that she's in the Titan form for so long that she like has trouble readjusting to like bipedal walking, so she like crawls around. It's very like creepy and weird. I love that.
I love her.
I remember when Attack on Titan season 4 started, it was like the most hype for any anime I've ever seen. Like that was when I got on TikTok too. Oh god. And I started getting like recommended like TikTok, like
here's all girls crawling on 4 legs.
So much Peak like cosplay of like her being like sexy. There's a lot of like thirst trap Peak cosplays.
Good. Send me all of them.
Sam, I'm telling you would like TikTok.
I'm not getting on TikTok, but you can link me or send me.
Also, there was one girl I found. I don't
go into our Discord and just in the Jo-ttack on Titan, just post pictures and TikToks of Peak.
Do it, okay. But then there's also another TikTok I saw, this girl who looks literally exactly like Annie. Absolutely insane. She cosplayed Annie. She had like the big nose.
You did show me that.
I must have showed you that because I was probably like obsessed with her. I don't follow anyone on TikTok, so I didn't ever see her again, but so that's kind of our main principal cast. Oh, and then we have a new the other Titan. So we learned the other final Titan.
Yeah, the Warhammer Titan. Yeah, the Warhammer 40k Titan.
Warhammer 40k Titan, which we learn is within the possession of the Tiber family.
The Game of Thrones family.
The Tyrells, yes.
The Warhammer is among us, as they say, in the family. There's like a bunch of children. There's like old people. There's like we don't know.
We see it briefly. They kind of have this mystery of like who actually has it.
Where I think Willie is too obvious, clearly.
But then it's like. Because like you're like, oh, but could it be like a double negative, like, or not double negative, but like they're trying to like double bluff you, double blind you.
Maybe
like, maybe Willie does have.
I'm waiting for him to get slashed during the next episode, and just to be like he's going to transform and be like, haha, no, or just not me. So
we saw a few other characters. There was like an old lady. There was like some kids.
There's like there's like an actual like adult. There's I guess a young adult lady who's like falling over the couch with the kids.
Yeah, I can't remember if there's anyone else.
I don't know.
They just show them really quick. It's just like they just kind of like bring this idea up of like, oh, or one of these characters Among Us.
Because I really thought like, okay, maybe the last Titan's the one where they're gonna get all the spinal fluid from, and it's just like one they just harvest and just like stuck in Titan form for like 13 years.
Yeah, and so we were talking about this earlier because like I'll often tell Sam when there's something that's like so wrong that will never come back up again, like just because whatever, and he was like kept asking about the spinal fluid, and I was like, it will get answered soon. Like I don't want to spoil it, but
I
like
don't think NBC will get answered.
it will get answered. A lot of things, I think honestly, Attack on Titan is very good at answering almost every like question.
I like how like during like there's like a weird like a mugshot scene of like all the Titans that existed or were like drafted essentially, and just like here's things we had to like elaborate like that they did earlier that we had to like say they could also do.
Yeah.
Except that the Colossal Titan didn't just nuclear blast the walls and everything.
Yeah, it's really funny to me that like to me that feels like the biggest retcon that like Ishiyama just decided that he wanted the Colossal Titan to be like a nuke, and that is pretty much introduced like it's kind of in season 2, but like I don't know.
You can blame that more of just a colossal titan falling down from a wall. Just the impact would probably.
That's always how I interpret it. Like if a big thing falls and hits the ground, it's going to make a big shockwave. It's going to make like an explosion.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a nuke. But we've talked about this before. I think it's like it's just funny that like they use like very explicit nuclear imagery of like houses being like destroyed by shockwaves, and it's very much like I understand what they're going for because they're doing like a World War II thing now. Like
World War One more so. And World War One was a battlefield, but World War II with like and the guns are all World War One like.
Yeah, well, yeah, the what's it called, machine guns that have like the World War One trenches and stuff.
Yeah, but they have like the World War II like imagery.
Yeah, I think it's like interwar period.
Just one last thing with like with the whole Ymir thing. He like at one point goes, I looked at her memory like fuck like she's fucking sucked. She was like disgusting. You know, I was like, man, fuck you.
I know, sad, but. Yeah, the memory thing is important, and I think that's like a really important thing that I like that the characters talk about that because it's like such a like glossed over power in like the first half of the series, bit of the series.
It's only really shown the fuck up Eren.
Yeah,
and that one time that Historia saw Ymir.
All right, so I think because we went over a lot of character stuff already, we can kind of go through plot stuff quick.
I already know Zeke and everything, so
yeah, so. We have this opening scene where it's like a battle. Like we already mentioned how like we see the warrior candidates there. Gabi has like her epic plan.
It's like World War. It's like the Africa front of like World War II, where it looks like a giant like desert area, but it has the trenches and it has the fortress in the middle.
Yeah, so they explain that this is like the last battle in a 4-year conquest. So presumably, like the minute that Zeke and Reiner got back with Ymir, they just like went and started a war, and they just like. The Marley just started to conquer.
Yeah, because there have been no sign of. I guess everybody on the island didn't come to attack them right away.
And one thing they've mentioned, so I think we can cut around a bit because we start to learn this stuff later. Like in like meetings later, we learn that they'd sent like several ships to Paradise Island, and none of them have come back. So clearly, they're fucking being wiped out by.
They're camping at the docks and just like. Something's happening to him.
Yeah, they're just waiting. Eren is waiting underwater, and then he just like splashes up.
Colossal Titan's ready to just like
nuke it up.
Armin's ready there to pick up the ship and be like, "We captured you."
That'd be really funny if when they go back to it, it's all just completely flat now because it just like Armin just always nukes the second
they leave the crystal of Annie as bait. Like, oh look, there's a female Titan. Let's go get her. Like, haha, got him.
And Armin just blows everyone up. So yeah, we talked about like
the battle happens. Gabi really just does the grenade thing of just like pretending to be like a random person that he just didn't shoot for some reason.
Yeah, I want to talk about that moment. So the reason why Gabi's plan works is because the Mideast soldiers who are very like, as you said, like they're kind of like North Africa, like it's that kind of.
They have fezzes.
Yeah, Middle East coded sort of like every character wears fezzes because of course they do.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Middle East, but like it looks like an Africa front, like World War II. Any World War II game I've played in Africa front has a similar looking environment. Yes,
and so the reason why Gabi's plan works is because these guys are like, oh, it's a child. I don't want to shoot a fucking child. Like, why would I shoot a child? And the one guy's like screaming at him, like, shoot the child. He's like, no.
You do it.
And his hesitation causes them to get crushed. So their whole plan is like the real sort of arms race now is that all the other countries are building weapons that can just easily kill the Titans.
Yeah, train cannon Titan killer.
Like literally anti-Titan technology.
Yes. And even though we know, even if you blow up the nape, they will be fine if they shift their consciousness in time.
But it takes some time to regrow.
She blows up the train, all the Titans come in, Zeke does this like weird like they drug a bunch of people and this like yell and transform them all, which I don't understand yet.
Yeah, so Zeke, we've seen Zeke has the power,
He
like...
he did it before where he yelled and then like a bunch of Titans just spawn. So I don't understand like because like we saw when they transform someone, they inject them and then they transform. Or is this power like does he yell at the people with like the potential to turn into Titans and then that's what like just yells at them and that transforms people, which is like incredibly broken.
It's very, very broken.
Very broken in a city full of fucking people that can do that.
Yeah, it's really cool though. So what I like how like they drop all the Titans and they transform them in midair.
And a bunch of them just die on impact.
Yeah, but like they're able to. It's like a great first wave of assault because they're able to go in. And now we have the introduction of CGI Titans, Sam.
Yes.
I think they actually look really good.
Everything but
Beast.
Yes, Beast looked very bad.
I remembered when I was looking back on it and thinking back, I was remembering the worst times, and Beast does look bad. But I think that Galliard looks good. Yeah. Like Reiner looks great. Yeah. Like
until we see like, what Colossal will possibly look like. That was rough last season.
They have a lot of room for improvement.
Or they're going to do the same thing to Aaron.
Yeah. But I think like it really works for Reiner because he's more mechanical looking with like the big plates.
Yeah, he's got a job, and yeah, if he's in the battle, like he covers for Zeke and jobs out very easily.
He does because they have like secret more anti-Titan.
He's probably
stuff.
Suicidal at that point, so he wants the job more.
Probably honestly
from all the losing he's done in his life.
So then we have I like how Zeke takes out the fleet by like grabbing a bunch of like shells and just like lobbing them like a baseball.
More cannon shells, yeah.
And yeah, that part's kind of cool. I like how Reiner takes the shot for him. And
then
we just kind of get a little bit of character. We see that GABI is like a suicidal crazy maniac. Like she'll just she doesn't have any regard for her own life. Oh, we also see that the Marlians use the Eldians as like suicide bombers.
Yeah,
like
Suicide
the
Squad.
first wave of.
They had 800 soldiers that's going to be like, sent to their death. But GABI's like, you can just send those 800. Or you just send just me in a potential candidate who had a great plan, competent.
Yeah, and GABI's even like, it's like, oh, I could understand why you think that I'm not as worth as 800 people. Like, she's so smug when she's like literally dying, like on the battlefield, ready to die.
Yeah,
she's fucking corrupted.
But
that's why we love her.
And during that, after she like does her plan, the Titan attack, like, we see Falco like takes care of a wounded enemy soldier because he acknowledges the war, like the rules of battle and everything because they lost essentially.
Yeah. And the guy's like, filthy Eldian, don't touch me, fucking impure, I'll be tainted. So the other thing that we kind of learn in this arc is that it's not just Marley. Like, literally the whole fucking world hates Eldians.
Yeah.
Racism, bad.
Which they would only know if they were that because they have the armbands on.
It's true. I mean, like, I think we kind of talked about this before, but
they
like,
don't want them. I guess
they don't really look different.
Yeah, they just don't want them mixing in to make more of them.
Exactly, it's very racist. It's very reminiscent of a certain fucking
we talked about last episode
thing. Yeah, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but I still just feel like it's so insensitive to frame it exactly like the Holocaust.
It really is.
With the armbands.
I did figure out like the hierarchy of the armbands, like in that of just like the gray are just like you're just the standard foot soldiers. The yellow is just like you're a candidate, and the red is like you are a shifter or a family member of a shifter.
Yeah, you're, and it seems like they're kind of given like different levels of like
treatment.
Yeah, Zeke is treated like almost.
He's like a military leader.
Yeah, like he's almost treated like an equal, but they still make sure to like shit on them because he's like
he's a monkey.
Yeah. But yeah, so
filthy Saiyan.
Then we have them return home. So we have this like great scene where they're all on the train together, and Gabi's getting freaking
Colt gets drunk.
Yeah,
lifts Gabi up, and like they all love her.
Yeah, everyone's chanting Gabi, and Gabi's like, "I'm the greatest. Literally, I'm the fucking most precious child." She's actually not precious. She's like fucking ruthless.
No.
Actual murder.
I'm like, get this stupid child out of me. Give me more Peak.
Actually, there is a moment once they get back to they're heading back to Liberia, so like their homeland.
Peak is on a crutch because she's not used to walking again.
Yes.
As we said.
But there's a moment that Peak and Gabi have together that I really like. I like that these characters that we don't know yet, they have a lot of like little moments. Like Porco and Reiner have a whole thing where Porco's like shitting on him, being like, you were bad. Like, you got my brother killed. You're shitty at your job. You're just bad at being.
Fuck you, Reiner.
You literally fucking suck.
Reiner getting shit on as he deserves.
You get to die soon. Thank God.
Reiner deserves to get shit on completely. It's fine.
I mean, I like Reiner. Reiner is one of my favorite characters in the show. I find his arc to be so compelling.
Fuck Reiner.
But he is also horrible, and he killed Marco.
He killed Marco and basically killed Ymir.
He killed Ymir. Yeah, I don't like that.
Like, he's killed so many people, like, breaking the walls. Essentially, like, eventually killing, like, everybody like, in that first wall. Like, he is to blame.
Yeah, it's fucked. Also, we do get, like, a little scene with Jean. So we have a little tease of Jean is, like, in Liberia.
Yes.
Like, he buys, like, a newspaper. But we don't see it's Jean. We just see, like, the mullet and, like, he's got a little facial hair.
Yeah, because he aged.
Yeah, he
so
got...
we know Jean's there. But yeah, and I'm so excited. I love Jean.
I really love this kind of drip feed. I really like the way that we're introduced to this whole new cast. I think it's like kind of
so insane.
It's kind of like bold. Like
imagine going the manga, like reading the manga only, and just going from like that to just 4 years later.
It's insane, and like it would take even longer too because like the amount of chapters you'd have to wait for. Because I think the series is monthly at that point.
Yeah.
And that's why I know like near the end people are like fucking screaming. Because like you have to wait like a month for like a tiny little chapter, but we just get like a lot of stuff. Reiner, oh my god, we called him Briner. Reiner Braun is now a vice chief, so he's kind of like high up, and he's kind of the guy that's like in charge of the kids.
Yeah,
he's like that's like
he's in charge of these child soldiers.
That's like his purpose, really, is like, and we see that part we like a little bit later. He literally
Kakashi
almost kills himself.
Yes.
But he stops because he's like, no, the kids. So
them.
I like that Reiner's kind of being selfless here. Like
he shifted all his consciousness to his brain, ready to blow it out.
But he didn't. He cares about the kids.
Sure.
We have a lot of scenes where we just see the characters with like their family. So we see Zeke and Aaron's grandparents.
Yes.
Grisha's parents are there, and it's crazy because like. It just feels like ancient history almost.
I really thought they wouldn't have been brought up at all.
Yeah, and it's they also have the red armband, which means that they are getting the benefit of having Zeke. So because I guess Zeke is their grandkid, they have like
they're probably his guardian after he sold his parents out. So.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it's just crazy. I forgot that I had that scene. We see like Reiner's mom. We learn about Reiner's dad. Reiner's dad was a Marleyan and asshole, like abandoned him. So Reiner got daddy issues.
Because he can get in trouble if he like finds out that he slept. He had a kid with
an illegitimate kid. Yeah, because it seems like he has like family. It seems like he like probably who knows what the circumstances were, but he like has like a whole different life, and he does not want anything to do with Reiner.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's really interesting. There's one scene that I really like where Gabi is talking about like, oh my god, it was so great. I killed all these guys. It was fucking awesome. And then they talk about Reiner's time
in the island.
And he's like, yeah, they're horrible devils. And then he goes and like kind of fondly talks about like every single one and how like
the quirks and the stories.
Yeah, and then like his mother is fucking horrified because she's like, they're all horrible monster devils. And Gabi like can't even comprehend what's happening. She's like, no, they're evil. They're devils. They're like terrible. But I really like that scene because it just shows that Reiner is still like, oh, he's still torn. He's still like two psyches.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this aspect of Reiner.
It's interesting, but yeah, I'm still on team fuck Reiner.
Yes, as we probably all should be. Let me see, what else do we have?
Because I think the third episode we get the flashback for.
Yeah, that's right. Before that, there's one other thing I want to say is like
that's the first time. Well, okay. There also when you come back, there's also all the PTSD injured soldiers.
Yeah. We do, and so yeah, we see Aaron here. Well, spoiler, you guessed it, so yeah. I'm not gonna like pretend like I don't know. We see Aaron in that first scene, and he actually has his armband on the wrong side. Falco corrects that.
Yeah, it was like upside down or something.
Yeah, Falco, which is I think that's a really clever detail because I did not catch that the first time. So
yeah, you must have really been damaged then, because like there is one people are assholes to them. Like they'll just yell boom and they'll have like all have their trigger PTSD.
Yeah,
and like they're sent to a hospital, and like one of them actually there's a weird flash of just like one of them just jumping out of a window and killing himself.
Yeah, it's a really jarring cut. I think it kind of doesn't work. I think a lot of the things that they try, we haven't even talked about the animation yet.
Yeah, we can talk about that after. Let's finish talking about.
Yeah, we'll go through the plot really quick. But like, I think that a lot of things like that, I can see what they're doing, but I think that it's not executed the proper way.
Yeah,
Or maybe not proper. It's not
Something
executed in a way that
they're
works.
trying to do some stylistic stuff, and it's not working.
Yeah. Specifically with that one part where the guy jumps out the window, because it feels like, I think you're supposed to think it might be Reiner for a second, but it's like
we just saw
you don't have no time to dwell on it.
Yeah,
you have no time to dwell on it at all. But then yeah, so we do, as you said, we get the flashback. We have like a whole flashback episode from
about Sus Squad.
Yeah, it's like their perspective, and it's funny because like the episode before that, you're like, we still haven't seen how Marcel got eaten yet. I was like,
we see it. But I hope we have like, the back lead up to it, and we did. Basically, like we get that little breakdown of all their powers and everything, and all the selection.
We see them all as babies, babies. We see them as kids, which I love. I love seeing these characters. Like little Peek is just like a little freaking gremlin.
I love her.
Just dirty hair and like she doesn't even talk.
Good. Annie's killing bugs. And just runs off because like that was all my screen time for now. See you, and then basically the whole thing is just Reiner coming like neck to neck with Porco. Porco basically Reiner just seems to be sucks, and just like
he's just the worst.
And then Porco, but then we learned that like Reiner gets chosen because we learned Marcel was just like basically building him up and like building down his brothers
because he wanted his brother to. He didn't want his brother to die. Like I think. Because he may have already been chosen, he might already have had it. I think that like once he had the power, he probably could see the memories and like realize how horrible it was that, oh, I die in 13 years. And like, it's kind of like, we see that reflected with Reiner now, where he wants, what's his face? Falco. He wants Falco to get the Titan, the armor Titan, because he does not want GABI to die.
Yeah.
He's like, protect GABI. GABI's the precious daughter. She must not be given this power, because like, how horrible would that be?
As we see, like, they just kind of just threw it to Porco after they got Ymir, which is weird.
It's really like, and it's so, I think that's really interesting, because it's so like bitter almost. Like, you have to take the Titan that like your brother died in.
And then you're going to get those memories of it eating your brother, probably.
Yeah, because he says that he does have Ymir's memories. He says he doesn't have he doesn't have Marcel's, but he learned everything from Ymir.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, also.
And
he's just such a bitter asshole. He's such a fucking jerk.
Fuck him. But so yeah, they basically like in the next brace we see like the whole thing like of Marcel admitting to Reiner that like, yeah, you just got this because I kind of fixed it so you would get it. You didn't really earn it. Yeah. And then like he gets saved, and then like
so he saves Reiner.
Yeah.
When you mentioned it, you're like, could you imagine if Ymir had the armor Titan? Like how weird that would have been.
I know.
Like how different it would have been too. Like no Reiner. So because what ultimately happens here, like this is kind of the big decision. Like with Marcel gone, Annie's like, we should just try and get the other Titan who ate him and leave. We need to leave. Cancel the plan. We need to go back home. And Reiner steps up and he's like, no.
Epic step.
Reiner's epic step. He's like, fuck no, we're here. If we go back, because Annie even makes the line, she's like, oh, they'll probably just get rid of you, Reiner. They'll probably just feed you to someone else because you're so shitty and bad. And Reiner's like, fuck no.
They're gonna like just get me. You guys were with me as well.
And so Annie starts like brutally attacking him. This is like a really good Annie scene because
stomps on his face.
Yeah, she like basically kind of tells about her motive because Annie's always been so guarded, but her real goal is to survive. Like she just says like the world is such a horrible place. All anyone can do is survive, and that's all I want to do. I just want to go home.
Then you get like Reiner just like rises up with his face bloodied and just chokes her out. Cause it's like you didn't realize it at first too. Like the reason she wasn't there when the walls broke was because she was choked out, unconscious.
That's another thing that I wonder is if that's kind of a retconny thing. But like it honestly, to me, I forgot about this. I forgot that she was unconscious. This honestly, I think is really good for Annie as a character because it makes her an unwilling participant. Yeah. Like she
was also an unwilling participant in the, when they sacrificed Marco.
Yeah.
Because she was just kind of like forced, like she was kind of like guilted into doing it.
It's funny though, because like we say that and like we say how she like, had no choice about like continuing the plan, but she also brutally murders like so many scouts in that arc. Just like, completely callously, like literally, like so horribly murdered. So I mean, you win some, you lose some with these characters.
Cool backstory, still murder. Like,
I still love Annie. She's so. Oh, I have too many characters that I say are my
Our
favorite.
favorite girls are Titans and that murdered people. So
It's true. If I had to pick like an ultimate favorite character, it would either be a toss up between Annie or Gabby. Gabby, we just haven't seen enough of yet. We just don't know. We don't know Gabby's whole shtick yet.
I love Peek. I love Jean. Jean's still like my favorite. Like one of my favorite. Jean and Armin are like my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, we have so many. I just think one thing I want to talk about. So then we get like a little bit more of like the characters. Like Annie, like looks for the king and finds Kenny, and she's like, "Fuck, I need to, like, we have to be careful. These guys are gonna fuck us up." And Reiner's is still like, "Okay, no, we got to do it. We got to break Wall Rose. We got to do the freaking Shiganshina, or not Shiganshina, the Trost battle. We need to make it happen."
And then there was like the guy they met, like the random guy in the one area who told him his story, and then like he killed himself.
Yeah, and it seemed to really like traumatize Bertold. Like that was something that he couldn't like understand. Like, why would this guy do this and then kill himself? And it's like, I don't know, pretty haunting. A lot of haunting shit. I think one thing I want to mention was I think it's interesting that all of this is basically the whole show is predicated on these kids deciding to invade. Like, if they had turned around and not done it, everything would have been so different. Like, Eren wouldn't have gotten the power in the way he did. Grisha probably would have been able to like explain it to him, because like presumably Grisha would have had the Titan for probably not much longer,
because the only thing that set him off was the Titan breaking through and his like mom being eaten.
Because I'm trying to think of how much time Grisha would have had left, because Eren was what, maybe like 10 in the first
like
9, I think 9. So presumably Grisha would have had maybe a little bit of time left. Maybe he didn't. Maybe that's why he did what he did. But he probably would have been able to, like, he said
she was going to show him the basement.
Yeah, in that episode he literally said, "I'll show you the basement." So things would have been a lot different if Reiner had decided to just leave.
Eren would have been the attack Titan, but then like, what would have happened? That family would have lived. Like the whole the Weiss family would have.
Because we learned the reason why he went was because he wanted them to stop to save the people who were suffering from the invasion, the Titan invasion. I know, it's crazy. It's like. It's just it's one of those moments I love. You can like look back on it and like, oh, there's so much hinging on this one decision that Reiner made.
Yeah.
And ultimately, asshole. Reiner's the asshole.
Reiner.
He fucking choked out Annie. How dare he?
How dare he?
I love how intense that scene is when he's like choking Annie out. Her eyes are like fucking boiling red and like, damn. I like this. I really like this arc. I think it's pretty crazy.
It's wild.
And then I think that's.
Because in the last episode,
we get the Eren tease, a little.
The first third episode ends with like, we basically like is Falco talking to the Eren, because he kind of attached him because he helped him with the armband at first and kind of talked to him at the hospital, and like I kind of figured it was Eren.
Yeah, you were like, it was so funny because you kept like going back and forth. You were like, oh well, but his leg is not healed.
I was like, is he just like cutting himself
every day?
Keep cutting off the nub that's growing back.
I think the idea is that like they could probably control their healing power.
He can shift his consciousness to his sub.
Yeah, I wonder like if Eren had gotten hurt in that time period between realizing he was a Titan and had the Titan power.
Yeah, so now we have Reiner grooming Falco and Eren grooming Falco, and he's also getting him to send letters.
Yes. So very sus.
Very sus. Because as we see, there's like, there's people like listening into the military room as well. Like it's bugged.
Oh yeah. So it's interesting because they definitely don't trust the Titan. What are they called? The warriors. They don't trust them. But
there's a lot of like intrigue and espionage going around, and we don't meet. Do we meet the family in the third episode?
That was in the wait. I think it was. Yeah, it was.
They get mentioned early, and then we actually meet like the family, which we already talked about though. But
yeah.
So, but they're going to have a festival / party, and he's going to be some big announcement there, and that's like basically all we get. The fourth episode is like them building the party, and then actually happening.
Yeah, and there's like a big festival too. So we have
there's a formal gathering, and we see people from like other countries.
So what seems
not
like
Japan,
happening?
Not Africa.
Yeah,
not Middle East.
So the Japan is called like Hirisu or something.
Yeah, the one thing they mentioned they call him like Orient, like at one point for like Mikasa.
Yeah, in season 1 they refer to her mother as being Oriental.
Yeah,
which is a hashtag canceled.
I
Problematic term.
It was just like Orient, but
they might have said Orient, whatever. But it's like they're saying, as you said, not Japan. Like
they don't know. They don't know that's bad.
They're saying Japan without saying not Japan.
They don't know that's bad.
They don't know that they don't know that the academic world views this word as a little problematic, and there's better words to use.
Basically, the only thing at the party is that the one like Japanese lady saves the one kid because he accidentally spills wine on her, but she gets him out of it.
Yeah, which Udo probably would have been killed for that. He definitely would have been kicked out of the program
because they hate the butler. They hate like the foreign kids as well. But like basically the big thing is what's his name? Willie comes out after this guy looks like fucking Kingpin. Just makes the most racist joke to every race at the same time.
I think he says something like, "All right, yesterday's friends are today's enemies," and everyone's like furious.
Imagine if like the guy who starts the UN meeting just makes like a joke, basically just.
He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you all later anyway."
Yeah,
it's like, I can't trust those filthy Germans.
Remember this steps out of UN. Just remember the Axis powers and how shitty all you people were. Like, whoa!
And he points. He's like, Japan, Italy, and like it's just. Everyone's furious, and then the second that Willie comes out, everyone is like crying. They love him. They're like cheering and coming, and they love it.
They love him.
But yeah, Willie is just like one of those characters who is very like he feels so much like an Attack on Titan character.
Yes.
Because he's so tied to like his duty, and he has like this moment where he gets really serious because like when they're building the like stage for his theater, he's making his first theatrical production where he's pretty much said that he's gonna like declare war on Eldia, or on not Eldia, Paradise Island. He says like how he is like it's like the supreme commander of the military or something. He also never wears an armband.
Yes,
you pointed out. Yeah. So even though he is Eldian, he seemingly is like above everyone because he's like a noble, like he's like a lord. They call him lord.
The family's power, the family house.
Yeah. So he talks about how like the moment that he came into power, he says it's like a wheel. He refers to it as like a wheel, and like says it's like this crushing power of having to like be in charge of everything, but like really not having control over anything. And then the second later, he's like his normal self. But he has like this deep, dark moment where he's like, this is the worst thing ever.
Attack on Titan characters tend to do.
Yeah. That's why I say he feels like... And he's also tied... They mentioned the myth of Helos, who is like this ancient sort of mythical warrior that slayed the Titans and like caused the Eldian Empire to crash or to be crushed. And he's like a folk hero for the Marleyans.
He's why he wanted to go visit the statue of it.
Yeah.
So, and then after the party, we have the actual festival, at least the first part of the festival.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have GABI and
which looks delicious, honestly.
You get to see Pete get a suit in like the military suit, which is.
There's a funny part where, because like GABI wakes up late, and then all the other kids run towards him, and Falco is like, "GABI, try this!" He like shoves ice cream in her face.
I was waiting for Peak just to be like in. She still has it in Beast Titan form, just like eating like on four legs, like off the ground.
They put it in a bowl for her.
I was waiting for that.
I think she still has crutches in this scene.
I think she still had the one crutch.
Yeah, the one crutch. Yeah, that's right.
But basically, and then we have what's it called? Falco with Aaron. And had this discussion, and then the old doctor comes around. Dr. Jaeger comes to him.
Aaron's grandfather. Aaron has a conversation with his grandfather.
Yes, and then basically he says, "You stop hanging out with that boy. You're gonna get him in trouble. Him and his family in trouble." And then and then Aaron basically gets him into like, "So, what about your family?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Basically just triggering his PTSD
trauma. Yeah.
And get taken away. And as we learned, he's a fucking patient.
It's kind of a silly misdirect that he's like a patient there, but I think the interesting thing I gleaned out of it was because he talks about like his family, and he's like, "Oh, that horrible day when my son took my daughter out and my daughter was murdered. Also, my son hated me because I pushed him too hard to be a doctor." So Grisha's dad, I forget his name, he like doesn't seem to understand why Grisha hated him. He thinks it's because he pushed him for like doctor when it's clearly the indoctrination of like Marley of
for just like
Eldians are subhuman.
Not being mad at that their daughter was being killed.
Specifically
not being mad at the guard for killing, and more so blaming his son for
not being mad at like the literal man himself and the system that like caused this tragedy to happen.
Yeah.
So
because also misdirect was just like both the parents greeted greeted him when he came back.
Yeah, which makes you think that maybe he's not insane.
Yeah,
but he is. So he's, I guess, stole a lab coat so he looked like a doctor.
They let him wear it to make him feel better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that basically just ends with that. And we're on.
Yeah, the last shot is Reiner dragging GABI away because she's so full of food.
I know. I was like, this is. I thought this was going to be something totally else, but so I guess at the end, I want to talk about at least about the OP. In the ED,
yes.
Which I think is very strange to have an OP does not feel like Attack on Titan. It does not. I would not have guessed it's Attack on Titan.
I agree. I don't like this OP. I know it was very popular when it came out. People say it's their favorite one.
I saw the third season one was my favorite.
Yeah, the first one in season 3.
Yeah.
The one that I like.
No, the second
Red Swan.
Second one.
No, I know.
The good one.
The one that's like a combination of all the other ones.
Yes,
that one is really good. The one that we paused frame by frame and saw the crispy Armin and
and
the ED is also like one of my least favorites, honestly.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I think the one in season 3 is awesome. The one where it's like little baby Krista or little baby Historia.
Yeah.
Like running around. I think the music and visuals are incredible in that one.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't really tell where I rank them, but like it feels. I don't think it's bad as the one you like, but that's
shut up. The production. So the big infamous thing is that the studio switched. So there's a bit of history. I don't know, like.
We are on Studio Mappa now.
Yeah, so I'm not like an expert on it. There's a lot of really good videos. I recommend waiting till the season's over before you watch any. I think Canepa affected one, but there's a lot of like documentation about that Studio Wit, who did the first 3 seasons. They were trying as hard as they could to not do Attack on Titan. After season 1, they did not want to do it. They said it was too much. It was too hard, too much pressure. Because like I don't know if you're aware, but in Japan, like in the Japanese industry, how these things work is there'll be like a production committee. So there's like a Attack on Titan production committee that makes the decisions for like who handles like things. So they are the ones that, I guess they're owned by the publisher, or they're beholden to the publisher probably. They decide what studio to go with, and Studio Wit for years was trying to get out of it, but they did their best with like I think the first 3 seasons look incredible.
They did great.
Aside from like the CG.
Yeah, the CG Colossal Titan.
But they really wanted to stop because they just couldn't handle it anymore. And they knew that this final season with like literally all of the Titans was going to be too much. So they ended up switching it over to another studio, and the only studio that would take it was Mappa. And Mappa was handling more shows than like
as they always do.
I think the Mappa has grown like immensely in the past few years, and they were doing like 3 other shows that season, I think, which is crazy.
They're crazy. Worked their studio to death. Studio.
Yeah, and there's a lot of criticism to like other Mappa shows. I think Attack on Titan season 4 actually does a pretty good compared to like some of the other. I've seen some other shows that Mappa did it at this time, and like whatever, like a drop in quality is like a noticeable thing, but. This
is like their money maker that they kind of have to like try to go all out. I just want to talk about the rotoscoping. Is just the weirdest decision though.
It's so fucking weird because it's like almost all in like episode 2, I think.
Like 1 and like maybe the end of 1 and then like in 2 mainly. But like it's just like the frame rate drops and like is weird. And there's like this one part where like it's like GABI talking to her family and like that's rotoscope. It didn't have to be.
It's not only so GABI herself like gesturing, like gesticulating is all done, and then her father, I think it's her father, or whoever's next to her grabs her head, and it's just so. It's like there's a lot of scenes like
it's
this.
Distracting because I can't read the subtitles when I'm like distracted by fucking like rotoscoping.
I understand like the I think the idea was they had probably a really ambitious director who wanted to like take the series and make it like really special.
Mappa did Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Yes, they did.
Because all that work went into the ED of the first core,
which is probably rotoscoped. Yeah, probably, it's gorgeous.
It's the best way because you just animate like a drawn style over it, like it's not like an anime characters over it. It looks better.
Yeah, I think it's the frame rate is what hurts it the most, because there's another scene too where when Reiner wakes up from the battle, he's sitting next to Porco, or Porco's sitting next to him. They do a really cool camera move where like the camera actually goes around Reiner as he's rising.
Yeah.
And it's a very ambitious shot because it looks good. The frame rate is just a little low.
Yeah.
Because it's TV anime. So like unfortunately they can't do like something in a movie. And it just sucks because like I see they're really trying.
Yeah.
But it's, as you said, it's just ultimately distracting.
Yeah. It's weird. I'm like, ooh.
And it's funny because almost gone after that episode. I've said it before. We have one commenter who always gives really detailed like breakdowns of the animation cuts. Really excited to see what they have to say about this, specifically just this core of episodes. This not core, this little bit batch.
Yeah. And then basically the episode ends with like GABI basically just doing the line of Aaron he did when he got out of like
I feel like things are gonna change soon.
Yeah, for the better, and just be like, here comes Aaron. Here comes Aaron coming out of the sky to crush.
But so yeah,
or
to
Armin
me
comes out with the blonde-haired
Colossal Titan. That's because I wanted to mention. I didn't want to like jump the gun, but to me, GABI feels like Aaron. Like to me, like I see the Aaron
but actually talented.
Yes, like because GABI's top of her class, where Aaron is like struggle. Aaron's whole thing was that he had to
even
really
the flashback.
fight
He like struggled like doing the 3D maneuver gear, but like Reiner just like you just gotta keep moving on.
Yeah, he's like, come on, just do better, kid. But yeah, so I see like parallels to Aaron in GABI.
Yeah,
specifically that last line where she's like, things are gonna be great,
and then like Falco is kind of being that maybe being one of the members of the Sus Squad, being trapped in the middle of not really sure where to go.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of on the cusp because like he definitely cares about Reiner, and Reiner. It's funny because it's like Reiner's kind of using him, but he also cares for him.
Yeah.
Like Reiner is just so horrible. Reiner's such a horrible person.
Yes, fuck Reiner.
That he's just using these children because he doesn't want GABI to die. He wants GABI to live.
It's about family.
It's about family. And he's willing to literally sacrifice Falco for it. And Falco is so blindly like agreeing with him. He's fine with it. Falco is definitely baby Reiner, but like
he has a brother.
He's not like crushed yet.
Yeah.
By like the horrible world.
The reality of world. You know, he's seen war, and all the child seem to be pretty good with that war.
Yeah.
So, do you have any question for prediction for me for this?
I'm just curious of where you think it's going to go. So you said you think Aaron is going to.
Obviously, the attack is going to happen. You can't just have a festival and just not have like anything happen afterwards. Especially the next episode is called Declaration of War. It was with the graphic warning.
There is a graphic warning that shows. I forgot about that. We watched like the first two seconds of the next episode.
Wasn't sure if we watched one more or not.
Yeah, I want to see how the audience will react to this. How our listeners will react to.
Obviously, our team has infiltrated the city with Jean and Aaron, like just doing espionage and everything, and. I'm worried if they brought any back. I'm like worried, cause I know Armin is Colossal and we have Aaron as the attack. I'm like, are they gonna off screen gave Mikasa the fucking female Titan? I am going to like, I can see them doing it to be very unsatisfying, unless they found found a way to stick a syringe in the back of one of them in Titan form. Just like how the little sister in BioShock had a giant needle they would just like remove the atom with.
Yeah,
because like
interesting prediction, Sam.
It's almost symbolic as our three main characters just to have the three Titans and one of them's female and one of our characters is female, huh?
It's true. Well, Mikasa is female.
Yeah, they can't give the female Titan to any male. I don't know if that works that way.
I really want to see it
because they refer to it as the female Titan, so I'm not sure if there's like a rule where like only female can like
only female.
Because even if she died as a human, what if a male just gave birth with the female Titan power, as we learned?
That'd be interesting.
Did that family only gives the power by birth, and they don't know who has the fucking Warhammer Titan because they only do it via birth?
Huh.
I don't know, man. It could be a little baby they take it from the Attack on Titan movie. They literally just have a baby
Titan.
Yes, the unsettling baby Titan.
I have a few. Okay, this is kind of like this might be a little mini discussion. So we have a bunch of characters that are supposed to inherit Titans. Do you think any of these characters are going to inherit any Titans?
Zeke still needs to have his thing with Aaron. That is like long overdue. Like to have like an actual talk, because now Aaron basically has his memories.
And he said like, I'm gonna save you. That's the last thing Zeke said to Aaron was, I'm gonna come
Aaron
save
now
you.
With the memories of Zeke's father, though.
Yeah, so he knows all the context.
Yes, and be like, my dad says fuck you, and to kick him in the balls.
And I think it's really interesting because Zeke, in his own way, is like, I mean, Zeke's a bad guy.
Yeah,
like Zeke's a bad guy, but he's very like internally consistent with his logic. He's not just like a mustache twirler. He legitimately believes that Grisha, his father, was like a traitor, and what he did was noble by having his father get killed. Well, he thought his father was killed.
And obviously the two kids, Gabby and Falco, the two main ones, are like going to have like some kind of conflict with each other. They already are teasing throughout this, like the race and like Gabby being pissed off that Falco, is trying to become the Armor Titan to protect her because he likes her, but she's also the Eren parallel because she doesn't know what sex is. Unless because she's not movie Eren.
So I didn't hear any answers. I want you to pick if you think.
Well, the two kids are definitely like
Falco and Gabby.
No, I mean the other two are like Uto and
Zofia.
Zofia are like obviously okay. These are the characters that can just die to teach these kids like the horrors of like this reality because as our kid characters have experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's gonna be a conflict between what's it called?
Gabby and Falco?
Gabby and Falco. They're gonna have some kind of like standoff. Like they can. Cause I think B-side still have to have an Eren fight, unless Connie comes in and steals the kill.
Connie, I gotta kill the Beast Titan. And then he said it in season 2. He's
gonna do it.
It was a long setup.
I think, but I feel Reiner could, because like I haven't seen the syringe yet, so it could be, or just could be they kill Reiner straight up. Reiner's like has so like he's jumped so many times that the death flags are finally catching up to him. But like I don't know if they'll inherit the power in this yet.
We'll see. We will see.
Like I said, there will be a conflict. Maybe one of the kids kill the other kid. Who knows? With that Bible stuff again, that Cain and Abel shit. They love doing those parallels.
It's true. There's a lot. They do a lot of like Norse references, I think, in this series.
They do, but there's a lot of just like Cain and Abel is just the easy story to have.
It's true.
And we haven't got much of Colt yet either.
Yeah, we just really know him as kind of like, he has like the scene where he gets drunk, so I guess he's kind of like a little irresponsible. Yeah. Supposed to be like not quite ready to take on Zeke's position.
But he also will just jump into battle to save his brother in the middle of no man's land and gets him out. Mm-hmm. Even if he got shot, he would have died. He could have died in that shot too, that no man's land.
Yeah, the part. It's really funny that one scene in the beginning where Gabby's like jumping into the pit, and then like Falco is jumping to save her, but it's totally unnecessary because like they're both heading towards the pit anyway. Like
Historia's gonna be pissed seeing the Jaw Titan. Like literally, like you were going fuck you.
My girlfriend.
She hops into the cockpit of Eren to give the Eren the command of all the other fucking airborne Titans. I do like the one line earlier where just like people are gonna advance in air because we only have just the scout planes essentially. They're gonna eventually like get bombs dropping from these planes and our Titans are gonna be fucked because we don't have winged Titans.
Yeah, that's the line that the one guy says. He's like, "Don't we have a Titan with wings?" The interesting line.
Yeah, I've seen that image, Jim. I know. That's one of the things I've been spoiled.
Wait, what?
There's an image of like Eren in the air. I've seen.
I'm confused.
Unless this is a dream sequence, but
well, we did see. Remember when in the OVA, Krista, when she was still Krista, when she got turned into a Titan, she had wings in that little like joke scene.
In that joke scene, because that was like apparently that was also like a side like script like art page that he did of like all the characters as Titans. Did the Armin one match up to what he was?
No, I don't think so. I think he made Armin like bigger. He made Connie really tiny. It was very funny. Connie was like minuscule.
Connie can't be movie Connie.
No, it's true.
And eat a Titan.
So yeah.
Movie
Connie. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Phil and Connie.
Yeah. That Attack on Titan movie is so wild.
It's great.
We'll watch the second one
I'm
sometime.
so excited.
I'm sure it's going to be awful. It's going to shitty.
I'm so excited.
You don't even have Reiner. How do you not have Reiner?
You don't have Reiner, Bertolt, or Annie. We thought the Annie was, but she was a MILF that won the fuck Eren.
That was very funny. If you haven't listened to it, listen to our Attack on Titan the movie review.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it.
All right. I think that's all. I'm surprised this one went so long.
Yeah.
I guess we had a lot to talk about.
I guess so.
Now that we have the setup for Marley, I think it's going to be like we obviously you can tell we're heading towards like some
war,
action. So
I'm excited.
You should be.
All this build up.
All right. I'm fucking starving. Let's go get food.
All right. I guess we want to.
Well, I don't know. What do you want to call this? I guess just plug up. Let's pass the inheritance.
Plug up the hole we saw in the flashback that they created.
Okay, yeah. Plug the hole. Re-plug in the hole.
Well, thank you all for listening to us starting the final season. Of course, you can like, comment, subscribe, all that great, wonderful stuff. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and me and Jim separately. Where now I will be on the lookout for peak art, fan art, and I guess you also join the Discord, I think. And I think with that, we can end the podcast and go get something to eat because we are hungry. We're going to eat all the fucking Shifter Titans and Transformers.
I'm gonna eat Peak first, so you don't get to eat.
No,
her.
don't you dare touch her.
I'm gonna give you Reiner.
I will consume Annie.
No.
Out of her crystal.
Good luck breaking your teeth. All right.
I don't know. I mean, the rules, the fucking Annie rules right now are like completely like in the void because the crystal thing is just completely broken.
We'll see.
I hope so.
All right.
With that, we'll see you next time.
See you next rhyme. Good bye.
Rhyme.
Jo-ttack on Tight Sam. Jim Tack on Tight Sam.
No.